Hey guys, how you going? So I'm just back at our Wynnum lift and building under today. So I'm actually standing in the pool. So as I keep saying, the boys are absolutely smashing this job, doing a really good quality job. The reason I wanted to jump in the pool today was to show you this pool we've done a few of these in the past, but we're doing a honed coping and waterline. So the slab above is all concrete. You can see there we've got our hidden skimmer box lid. But you can see here we've got our boxing screwed to the pool shell, which is 50mm thick. So that will become our coping, and then you're going to see this really large edge. So all this will be honed concrete, all the top will be honed concrete. It looks absolutely smick. And then when you come around here to the sides of the pool that's got the block walls on, there'll be a strip of waterline tiles the same thickness as the honed edge that'll run along here. So that'll go around these two sides with block walls on. So yeah, absolutely going to come up fantastic here. You'll see the line markings on the wall, so the boys have gone around and spray painted, so we know where the pipe work is in the pool shell, so there's no risk of screwing any screws and when we're doing our boxing and stuff to it. But we'll just jump out of the pool. So two things I just wanted to point out in today's video that we believe are super important and so many builders don't put enough time into and don't do correctly. But when you're doing a lift and building under or any renovation work where you're marrying into old cladding, you get a situation like above me here. So you'll see there we've created a big box flashing. So that flashing is actually 75mm fat and 50mm deep. So we levered the boards off above and we push that flashing in up in under the old cladding, and then that makes it completely weatherproof. So one of the reasons we've done that on this job, so you'll see on the corner there we've gone around, we got the big flashing up there. So it's a little bit different to most of our jobs. The upstairs of the house has been sheeted in that horrible metal cladding over the top of the old weatherboard. And it's very poorly done. It's not sealed around the windows, so there's still water getting in around all the window openings, the corners, and running down the face of the old cladding that's in behind it. So the issue you have then is when we build in under, we put all our new cladding down the bottom here. If that water is getting in behind the metal cladding and running down the face of the old cladding, it will enter the new building below. So by putting that large flashing on there, we've put that flashing under the original old timber cladding, but we've made it thick enough that our new cladding can butt in underneath and you won't see the difference in the profiles or the thickness of the materials. But it's really important when you're doing these jobs. Like, water is a builder's worst nightmare, and if you don't put the thought into it now, it'll come back to bite you in the bum later. And like another scenario over here, on this side, up the top there, the metal cladding has been put over the old timber and it's just the metal cladding's butting into the underside of the gutter. So if that gutter overflows, the water's going to run behind that metal cladding so you can't see it, which it's now doing, because you'll see there we've got a rag on the corner. The water is now dripping out underneath that metal cladding. So if we don't put a new flashing there and go underneath the timber cladding, it's always going to continue running down and it's going to leak behind our new cladding and enter the new house or the new area that we built underneath the existing house. So we put a lot of time and effort into our claddings and making sure everything is watertight. And look, at the end of the day, there's only so much we can do when we're doing this type of work, but the thing is that we try our best. We look at all scenarios, and like what we're going to do here is we're actually going to pull that existing guttering off and we're going to get a custom flashing folded that will go underneath the roof sheeting, over the face of the metal cladding, and then we'll put the gutter back over that. So we're going to try and seal that joint at the top and minimise the amount of water that's getting in behind that cladding at the moment. But I'll take you at the front here. We've got Brad on the front at the moment. He's doing all the flashings on the deck. So I believe that no builders put enough effort into when they're doing these lift and builds and houses have got decks in areas. So if you look up here, you'll see Brad's working on it there. So you'll see we've put a big metal flashing in there, and it's coming out over the existing joist. So I'll take you upstairs, just show you what he's doing up here. So we've done this on a lot of jobs now, and it's it works really, really well. So when you're doing these types of jobs, you've got to think of worst case scenario, and for us, that's a client up here in the future with a hose or a gurney cleaning the house and pushing water. So when you get into this situation here, so if we didn't put this metal flashing on, we've got a weatherboard coming up underneath, and then the upstairs the original single skin VJ walls. So water would run down here, and there'd just be a butt joint to the new weatherboard, and you would never get a seal on it. So what we do, we've got this flashing folded up here, so it comes out about 250 mil, and then we've got this section of flashing here, which will then go up and over that, and then this all gets sickered to the wall, and then we dress up and we put a skirting over the top of it so you don't see the cladding, and then the decking gets laid back over the top of this, and that creates a completely waterproof join between new and old. And you'll see Brad's done it here. Look, he's finishing this one here, so you can't even tell the deck board's gone back down. He's put the new hardwood piece over the top, and it's all been sickered up, and that'll all get painted into wall colour. So you can see, you go around there, so we're still working along this way here. So we've got our flashing, we've got to put the other one up and over that. So everything's riveted, it's all silicated up, and there's no risk. So if the owner wants to get up here with a gurney and get stuck into it, the water's going to run down the wall over our flashing. We bring our flashing out far enough that the water will drip like 200 mil out from the wall below. So yeah guys, again, it's all this sort of stuff. These are the things you don't see, or people take no notice of when the project's finished, and they don't appreciate or see the value in it. Whereas these flashings, like on a project like this one, we've still got to do the deck on the other side of the house. It's about 2 to 3 days work, so that's 2 to 3 days work plus materials that most builders don't do, and then they wonder why they get leaks in the future. So guys, again, it's all about the details you don't see that make all the difference between a good builder and an average builder. Cheers guys.